Yo, Yamamo, Aquaba Stronko, so at the bar a POG Media. So, yes, so Safi no about subscribe na like a Jumedino at the Amelbitmin. So, I share Jumedino now for and so and sa Akabian. Please click on the notification bell so send a bear. Yeah, the enemies be out to platform so I won't so walk no dear air and a dear air by young Quayen na. Yemfa ensam dodo na no enye den embrewa ya inum Ato.F again sensem no na ye K.Taylor e de ho amanebo ene entansem bo bi abaya den aba betudwa chese o kire enioma bebremu na we wabo e de awura aye judge na nkasa aye aso eye enioma bi a judge no eye ene judge no ene ye bi no odini nyina aba abedan di wabo de awura ho de court no ensensem dodo na so abeden abede the shocking revelations send they be a canon or the aba abetu ye nim Kevin there ono no ohodi a matter like this or call to the core and I said to the business no na or the nyoma bebre dem aba abetu ja so in some day or the dodo na to yan ko ni konkoti
kwasiafo. All right, now let's move to the issue we really want to discuss. And it's got to do with this. Ambulance purchase trial. Now, I want to talk about this issue. Abra, you're partisan about it. We need to discuss this without making it look like an MPP-NDC fight. Sa case where a was Supreme, a court, sorry. You did. You did Ato.F any two other people or so three other people akujina court no. And your court, Ghana court, and the judge, your friend Judge Sewa presided a case in the so. Ato.F Jack Bamo presente a document in court to the judge and say, you know, application idea be ye per se asemono, you who say Injina so and shada niso. Inti se only ebaya adwene from the evidence, any conduct, any nyoma esisi wo case wo nyina ne kire se attorney general shada ni injina so bia because so tie SH0CK sebio oba court in some of the kind say he will even take responsibility for what has happened. Attorney general says still on tie. The manufacturer, manufacture ambulances no. Catch attorney general say for ambulances ne bra na yemfa usika nyina ama no. Attorney general say ompene no. Ato.F say we nyina say attorney general no ensam na o gina so de case no. I say your time and or time Ato.F ene jakpa na sebio enya Ghana opese o save Ghana sika because we are in court because they say somebody caused financial loss to the state. So our utmost our utmost priority and say yes na nipa na say yes nipa na say no. That's the first thing. Yensaka skani we are you better penalize nipa no. The reason why we are in court today, our ambulance case we nyina say yes see nipa bi afa kwan bi suma Ghana ahwiri sika. Sa sika na ya hwiri 2.3 million euros. Sa company a Ghana ni omudi nsa wosoa na Ghana fo wom no. Company ne say monje musika na monfa ya ambulance maye. At the end of the day, that is the reason why we are in court. Attorney General say ompe tie. Almost say Ato.F na oya deputy to SH0CK and Ato.F ono ade ne pe e letter ema Ghana etie sika koma company no. Company no mo the ambulance by say yes. Se sia no mo say ambulance ne nye. Mo say enam yasunti obi abokro no musika no ya pese de musika ma mo fa mo ambulance emaye. Attorney General say ompene. Madam Judge we etia asem no nasum. SH0CK aba court aba catch the judge say judge Ato.F no hyebase. Na oye adwuma me na me the boss. Me na me man ho kwan say on trust a letter no. Enti se mo pe obi ablemu na mo blemu me. Every say me se ma man sa order na anka on to me trust letter no. Attorney General say dabi Ato.F na no person jeli no. Now, for politics in United Nchen. Sa application ya Ato.F any jakpa mo erikoma madam sewa judge sewa no. Or say sa nyomani nyina wahwe. Still ohun say attorney general case. Now the question I want to ask is say Attorney General the intino court. Why is the Attorney General in court? The Attorney General is in court because Osi Obi afakuti kwanso magana ahwiriska. Sika no so na bohoi. Nipa na yesi Ghana ahwiri mana kodi ni ho no. Nipa na se jiwu sika na fa ade na botoy na mame. Osi mempe. Judge na hwe we nyina osi still Attorney General case. Into ono asem no opese oditu ase ejeli Ato.F. This woman. And the way I am trying to break it down, me per se, ye partisan politics, ye for use your adwene, your common sense. And until I start, me say, dear intina Godfred Dame Attorney General or court. He's in court for a reason. He's in court because he's chasing Ghana's money. The people who took the money are saying, take your money and give us our ambulances. And whatever you want to do with your people, do with them. Attorney General says, no, I don't want the money. I still want to jail this person. Then it becomes persecution. Omotata a deliberate, a political persecution. And in time, I say, Mummy, politics in tone chain. This is our judiciary. Into all these things, Egudamami we TV so, a table so, Emma we ready way na or say, ma no kura na or judge no. She does not even care about the money. Or no judge also does not care about money. What she cares about now is for somebody to go to jail. But we are paying the Attorney General to retrieve our money. We are paying the Attorney General to go after our money. Let's go get the money first. Yeah, just can we are. Then we can deal with the person. Are we going to jail Ato.F, jail Jakpa, and later come and ask a company say it's a simple question. Because at the end of the day, the reason why we are in court is basically because you see, causing financial loss to the state. Yanka say causing water loss. Yanka say causing emotional loss. You see, financial loss, it means it's money. So what we are looking at is the money. And the money where it went is saying, take your money and give us our ambulance. This judge says, still, Attorney General case. I want us to use common sense. Now, because this is persecution and it's not prosecution, you can distinguish. And you're brofu. Majority of them, they could not pass their exams. But I don't watch it. Agent TV, Jimmy, Attorney General has been vindicated. Law school exams would not pass it. Into a politics no or MPP communicator. Akuffo da man appointment or Ghana airport. On Jimmy so betina TV so I can just Akuffo the Akroma and Apple Attorney General Akroma yet because abandon the Tianeka. It is a woman Paul Adomochi TV so or the same person to say a finance minister or to say Attorney General. He is being paid by the government. He was appointed by Akuffo. Paul Adomochi Akuffo the you could see airport board so he was not going to come and tell you say Akuffo the and Attorney General is a thief on yet no crime coming yet. Until when you see such people display ignorance and foolishness, it is because they have to protect what makes them human. It is a study case and I know Busan say our judiciary DNSCIA. Are we looking for justice? Are we looking to make sure say the right thing is done? Now, what is the right thing? What is the right thing? What is the court looking for? Madam Way, what is she looking for in this case? The reason why she's sitting on this case is for Ghana to retrieve its money. Ghana and SH0CK. There's a difference between company near SH0CK Momo Eka said they are not going to pay anything. But this company is saying, I will pay you your money. Give me my ambulance. So what is this woman looking for in this case? Is she looking for money or she's looking to jail somebody to satisfy somebody's hunger? Because a time come and hunger. A time come eddie will be. It is looking like our court is basically being used to persecute people. So when you're prosecution, this is persecution. Why don't you take our money first? The reason why I want to jail Ato.F. Why don't you do that? But we said no. 2 million euros ni on pay. Ato.F. na obi suma no ono na opesa we make sure say we jail no. In 1982, judges were murdered. Let's put politics aside. you and I, you bet me a court case any day in Ghana. This is Ato.F. This guy can be the next president of Ghana. He has been the finance minister of Ghana before. He is the leader of the biggest opposition that has been in Ghana before, in power before. Ato.F. is not small fish. So Ato.F. led Bawumia, we will all tell the court to jail Ato.F. But is the court telling us that they have one thing they want to do? If they execute, it does not matter how much Ghana will lose. Because we want to know, the case you are sitting on, why are we sitting on the case? Is it because we want our money back or we want to jail people and be satisfied? And this issue in court, the basic question you ask yourself, any judge, and they say, Madam Judge, what do you want? In the first place, why do we have this case in court? And the reason why we are in court is because some people have caused financial loss to the state. The financial loss, some people have caused financial loss to the state. The financial loss, that loss we are looking for, we have found it. It is with Big C. Big C are saying they are willing and ready to give us that financial loss back. Why are we still saying we need to jail Ato.F? So we are going to jail Ato.F and the 2.3 million that we have spent money on the Attorney General's office every day in court now. Yes, we will miss the 2.3 million. And now you are going to jail Ato.F and come back and go and tell Big C to give you 2.3 million euros. This is the problem with our judiciary, some of it. This is what causes problems in a nation. And in 1982, the high court judges who were murdered, for all you know, it is somebody who at the end of the day, some of those judges are in their courtrooms and are taking advantage of the moment and murdered them. For all you know, those judges, they did something that was not right. Until the time and system no I heated up and I said, this is my opportunity. This judge are my target. Because time I remember major padie owudi jameno judge we making sure say what time me major padie ne diama obi abra na judge ni nim say e me major padie. Judge we asase we na mebusua asase na edaha ena yebusua me papa wuye ena nipa bi achinchi minsa court judge ne efa kuti kwan bi so edane me masase a me de bebo me bra ama me mba enya bibie di no odane ma obi a oye politician assembi bae ema me wofa na odi bem enso judge ne nipa bi ekot kaye ena ebuti am wofa odefiase. Those things are harboring in the hearts of people. They only need the right time to act. So 1982, those judges there was a reason, and there are different reasons in here. Some people decided to do that. Remember, they were not the only judges in Ghana. And with all due respect, madam, I am not saying somebody should do that to any judge, no. But in court, they call something precedence. Assembly near the assembly. And I am bringing this in, that precedence, it's always what we have to basically guide ourselves with, or each other with. Inti sanko from taking that advantage, that time, they had harbored some pain in their heart. But that moment when those judges were doing that, those judges felt that they had to satisfy some people's ambition. Maybe those judges, those times, they felt too powerful, that there will never be a day that they will be exposed, that people can come into their homes, drag them on the floor deep at night. Maybe those times judges say, this is Ghana. They are not like that. We are a God-fearing nation. My fellow Ghanaian cannot be too angry to enter my home and drag me and shoot me. Maybe that was what the judges were thinking. But in 1982, some Ghanaians took advantage of the system, took advantage of what was happening, decided to take revenge. People's aunties, their fathers, their mothers. They were dragged from their homes and shot dead. Shot in the middle of the night. They were screaming for their lives. They were begging. They were on their knees. But people did not have mercy on them because the pain that they had caused. And I can tell you on authority, and I feel bad for the families of these people. And I wish this never happens to any man or any woman or any child. That your mother, your father is dragged from their house at night to be shot in the head. But we need to understand, there were so many judges in Ghana. Why those judges? We need to ask ourselves lots and lots of questions. Why those judges? What have they done? Or what had they done for somebody to commit that crime, to feel satisfied? Because they were not the only judges in Ghana. They had friends, they had colleagues. Why just them? Because nobody will be insane and wake up one morning and say, I hate this judge, I'm going to go kill this judge. No. It is maybe something had happened that person did not get the opportunity to respond. There are millions of Ghanaians who have issues with the judiciary, and especially some of our judges, because of the kind of judgment that is put out there. If they get the opportunity, they will strike. People have lost lives. They have lost livelihood. They have lost what makes them human because of some judges, their actions. So I want to ask Madam Judge, what are you looking for in this case? Money or just to jail and be excited about it? 1982 killings. Before I go on, this is the deepest, harshest videos normally we don't share on TV. But after they were murdered, the same Ghanaians came together, prayed, and said goodbye. After they were murdered, after these judges were killed, the same people came out and said, let us bury them. And I'm very sure there were people in the crowd who were part of the murderers. They saw people laid to rest because at that moment they felt they had the power to also control. All is about power and how you control the power. When you have power today, when you have power in your hand today, and you feel you can control it to suppress a fellow human being, all because you want to please another human being, the day that power will slip and it enters into the hands of the other person, you will feel the pain of that person. This is when those judges were being buried.
Wow. This is a serious and a damning, revelations and a deep analysis from Kevin K.Taylor. A very fine gentleman. I respect him a lot, and the piano or despite the political affiliations and the political candidate or them within it, like also the facts area tournament so yeah, what say I was say there's not about a MPP and NDC so and some of the donor they to judge say and not a very damning and onye no start to answer so I can't send me brain call near conqueti
see unim there yawa asem we mu nyina no judges we time you ku omo no ye say twaja to omo mu you try to omumu almost shadow na nsuo toye omo anhie wie the pain Ghana for na yo enye Dubai vo enye German vo and the same Ghanaians we felt or thought in 1982 that they are peace-loving people. Nothing can push them to do that. You try to omumu after they shot them, they try to omumu almost halfway na nsuo toye, so they were half bent. Yes, the shovel and it's a salmo body. A go at that plastic bag. All because it's a decision that they took before. A decision they took that maybe they knew wasn't right. Their bodies at the end of the day were shoveled into plastic bags. Almost say half. And then so tas to togu almost and yeah, the shovel a salmo, a go bag. It should send a message to every single Ghanaian. It should send a message to us, the people who have been given power, who have been given that power. We need to make sure that we don't overuse the power against the same people. Because when people get angry, when there's pain in the heart of men or a man, it doesn't leave easily. It takes years. Maybe you might not be lucky. And that man who has been crying within, without pain, maybe you might not be lucky. That man will get that power you used to have. Maybe that man will get the opportunity that you have today. In the 80s, people were a little scared of things. People were brought up well. People at a point had some kind of sympathy, empathy. In the 80s, things that people would do today, people were not able to do in the 80s. Tonight, today, here, it is more dangerous and slipperier than in 1982. Now, it is more dangerous, more slipperier than 1982. The reason is that it is so easy to murder somebody today in Ghana than in 1982. In 1982, you had to plan so long. Now, you don't need to plan. You need to know who your target is. That is why I keep saying, what are we doing in court, Madam Judge? I'm not going to come sit here and act like I know the law than you or know the law than lawyers in Ghana. I am sitting here as a Ghanaian applying common sense. Our nation says we have lost money. The people who took the money are saying we will pay you, give us back our ambulance. We say no. So why are we going after Ato.F? This is persecution. That is why I keep saying that Madam Sewa was supposed to throw this case out in the first place. For her to entertain this case to this point means there's an agenda. There's a persecution agenda in this case. For the judge to even entertain this case to this point, what are we looking for in court? Is it to jail somebody and be satisfied, or going after the money we say we have lost? Because the case is causing financial loss to the state. The loss is the money. The money is sitting there. They are saying, take your money. We say no. We still want to jail Ato.F. Power. Because of power some people had in 1982, they were burned into ashes. Shovel. They used shovel. People had to put gloves on their hands to pick them up. All because of pain. And we should learn from history. And I'm not sitting here say if somebody is guilty, that person should walk. Never. When somebody is guilty, that person is supposed to be what? To be prosecuted, jailed. How guilty is Ato.F? How guilty is Jakpa? And why is Ato.F in court? It is because Ato.F, we say, through his carelessness, we have lost money. The money is sitting there. The person who, at the end of the day, was the last recipient of the money says, take your money and give me my cars. What has Ato.F done? Isn't it the money we are going after, or we are going after Ato.F? Now, this is what happened in court today. You people, what you are doing is dangerous. Oh, I'm telling you. Ambulance purchase trial. Having listened to the conversation between A3 Richard Jakpa and AG, the allegation that Attorney General sought assistance to implicate A1 was not born out of mouth of the Attorney General, but A3. And your court no, Madam Judge Sewa say, we tie a year tape no be 10 times. Tape na mi tie na wusu tie no. Tape na ye nyina ye boy na Ghana fo nyina tie brofo na omoka no. Ma me say ono we tie tape be 10 times. Na bibia ni tape ni ma kire se Attorney General ebie na no ka kire eye den Jakpa say Jakpa enkoye bibi emwa no case nim. O se wanti bibi sa. Madam ne say we tie tape no be 10 times. Tie There's no, I don't care about NDC and MPP. I want you to know, I swear to God. Ada amanfo we di bedi no wan hwa wo de sika be show for the rest of your life. You will target somebody till you kill the person. You don't know what these people can do, eh? At my mina or take case in this say we tie tape no. We tie tape no 10 times. Or say the be any tape prima or te say Attorney General catch Jakpa say on try na on any enya adwene no mumbua sem no engu edie Ato.F or say Attorney General mbie na no anka nti wendi bone or say sanke free Attorney General anumu baye dia na just Attorney General we di bone na say wante say oyusu sa words no. This is the judge sitting on the case. Nidin nim nam de kire wo no. Madam Sewa Oni. Let me put her on this side. So that you know who you are discussing. I see. Otie tape ni nyina no. Wanti bibia. In fact, bibia mfiri Attorney General numa ambampo. I suggest a kire said na or catch Jakpa say on kasa ewo court man sebio eni ono Attorney General asem ne nko bankurom se ne be ya edien obebu asem no etia Ato.F. So at least one. There's one thing the judge admitted in court today. There was a conversation between Attorney General and the third accused. At least. Me call law school. Master no more law firms. But there's one thing that has been established in court today from the judge say she has listened to the tape and she has confirmed in court the voice on the tape was Attorney General and the third accused. Finished. Right? That means she knows say asem wo court yempa obi ho enene nkokasa abra or lawyer. So the judge from this statement alone is telling us say I have listened to the tape and I can confirm to you that Attorney General Godfrey Dame and the Jakpa and the normal kasa because of see nowhere in the tape did the Attorney General make any statement to free the Numubai. Meaning she is admitting that it was the Attorney General who at the end of the day was on the phone with Jakpa. She has established it. We are doing common sense here. It is not about who knows law and who doesn't know law. We are applying this. So at least the judge on the screen has established to say she knows for a fact it was Godfrey Dame talking to the third accused. Godfrey Dame, who is the prosecutor, talking to the third accused at odd hours without the accused lawyer. What does the law say? This lady says she's a learned judge. She wants to be neutral. She wants people to know that only obi nkoshe kukuom enkodi nkomo se opese obu attain to obi so. I am not going to take Jakpa's case issue now. I'm not going to listen to Attorney General. The judge sitting on the case in the metie ampa Attorney General nenso enyon ne kan. The question we want to ask is say, is it right? Eyemra say Attorney General ene obi be kasa Abra case were court behind the scenes without their lawyer? He said no. Now, the second part. Say, Judge Netmia establishes say a Attorney General and a Jakpa edi san komona. What is stopping the judge from asking or for asking Attorney General to prove to Ghana and her court that this kind of behavior didn't really happen? So it is up to the court, the judge. So Obefre Attorney General Abba say, Matite Pui betiebi Jakpa or third accused and a deba bontene. I know your credibility, I know the office you occupy, and I know you know the ethics of your job. It is why did the judge refuse to ask Attorney General in court under oath that are you the one speaking with an accused outside court proceedings without the lawyer of the accused? What prevented the judge from doing that? Because whatever they were talking about, as you yourself say, wait tape 10 times, was it about Obra? No. Was it about the Black Stars? No. Was it about Akuffo? No. Was it about John Mahama? No. It was about the case that you are sitting on. So if the conversation was about the case, because you told us you have listened to the conversation 10 times, you know what it was about, meaning you have a clear idea that what they were discussing is got to do with what was happening in the courtroom. So if what they were discussing was nothing or had nothing to do with your court proceedings, then you can say, Attorney General, whatever conversation you had with the guy, it wasn't about my court proceedings, so I'm fine. You can go and do your thing. Go, ethics committee can deal with you. But the conversation was about the case that you are sitting on, meaning there is an influence on your case. There is an influence on your case because the people having the conversation are not just mere spectators in the court. This is the prosecutor, the lead prosecutor, and the lead accused. So these are people which the law says that because they are before you, they cannot meet or have conversation outside your court without their counsels. So you have established, say, guy, at the end of the day, wait your tape, Odame. Now, are you not ready and willing to help Odame clean himself in court? I thought you wanted to prove to the world and Ghanaians that the Attorney General is not a criminal. The Attorney General is legit. The Attorney General does not go against the ethics of his job. So as a judge who believes in the rule of law, honesty and accountability, respect to the court, I thought you were going to tell the Attorney General to take an oath and now answer the question that whether it was him or not. Because, Madam Judge, if tomorrow, you being the judge, it comes out that you have been on phone with the Attorney General at odd hours, and the conversation you are having with the Attorney General is about this case, what are you going to say? Are you going to recuse yourself totally from the case? Or you are going to say that you will still be on the case, but you want to take yourself to the General Legal Counsel to discipline you? What are you going to say? I'm asking you, you are a judge. If you are caught today that you are talking to somebody involved in this case, whether the Attorney General or the accused, behind the scenes without their lawyer's knowledge, and that tape is played in court in front of you and you listen to it, are you going to say that you are still the judge, even though you have been caught on tape discussing this case outside court without the counsel of the other person, and you being the referee, you are caught on tape? Are you going to say that we should pause the case for you to go to General Legal Counsel and go face the disciplinary committee and come back and sit on this case? Are you going to recuse yourself or not? Now, intent in law is very important. Intent. That is why when Vicky Hammer was a minister and playfully with her friends, she said when she gets $1 million, she's going to quit politics. Remember, she had not stolen money. Remember, she had not signed a document to say that move 1 million into my account. The reason why Ghanaians and the so-called lawyers in Ghana and the so-called intellectuals and the president decided to say Vicky Hammer should leave her position was the intent. It was the intent. And into obi threaten obia. When somebody threatens somebody, in court, that person can be jailed. The intent. Jail. Not even coming out from the Attorney General's mouth. Say, Kokti atro na yenchi Ato.F. The question here is, What was the intent behind the conversation? Madam Judge, what was the Attorney General's intent? Because in law, intent is very heavy. It's an important part of law. If you cannot establish the intent after you listen to the audio, then you are not fit to sit on this case. You are not fit to write a judgment. If you were not able to establish the intent of the Attorney General speaking to an accused that he is prosecuting at odd hours without the accused person's lawyer, then you don't have the intellectual capability to judge this case, because you should be able to establish an intent. That is why I'm asking, what was the intent? What made the Attorney General continuously, not just once, be talking to an accused person without a lawyer? So if you have not been able to establish the intent after 10 times listening to the audio, then you are not intellectually smart enough to write a judgment on this case. And this is the problem we have in Ghana. Problem I want Ghana in Yunani. We are suppressing the law, the bare facts. We are basically allowing people to walk, all because we don't want to throw our own under the bus. If we fail to throw our own under the bus, the whole bus at a point will basically go straight and enter a ditch. This is what is happening. In court today, Judge say, even though she listened to the tape, she did not question the intent. She knows the ethics of the job. Listen.
Yo, nyamisha say what should you no ABC same way. Unsubscribe ya, subscribe, like you share, nema afufro and so ensa and kabian. Please click on the notification bell. So I do my down yes or bosso. Now we use our junction in here no I now they share under the comment section him at the item at the my aha any other Jumedian BC. Quartons and 7 young cowie, Nayansu Yasham Bosse. Pink cran as a pania craft for ma, yet de a home amana bobede, ever brim, macramo, medamasi.